Hi everyone and welcome to a new playthrough of Satisfactory. Yes, 1.2 has been released into stable and I am super excited about it. And yeah, this is basically the restart of Project P.E.A.C.E, right? So I just saw that I have forgotten to add this in, right? So let's take care of that. There we go. Alrighty, so Project P.E.A.C.E, what is it? Well, it is just an acronym that I like to use for my playtime with Satisfactory, right? So we have plan, so come up with a plan, come up with a Satisfactory modeler file, right, that actually represents the factory that I want to build. Execute, just build the thing, right? Analyze, so we are looking at, did we build it correctly? Is there anything we need to change? And then we have the correct or confirm step, right? So if everything's okay, we can confirm, alright, everything's working perfectly. Let's focus on aesthetics now. Or correct, hey, there's a mistake. We take it out, right? We fix it. And the E stands for enjoy. Just enjoy the factory we have built and go ahead and just, yeah, take it in, right? Celebrate what we have done. And we are starting in the Dune Desert. We are going to grab ourselves these barrel nuts to have a little bit of healing on the way. And we do have a couple of goals today, right? So the first goal is to visit and open 3 Droppods, right? We only realistically need 2 hard drives to get everything we want early game. But I like to dismantle 3 of the drop sites. It just gives you enough reinforced iron plates and rotors and stuff to get started with building without having to handcraft a whole bunch, right? At minimum, 2 blue power slugs have to be acquired for us to unlock some research further down the line. I want to establish my base, and lastly, I want to have my starter factory, which a very small one, just really the basic needs. And we will talk about that one once we are ready. So, our plan for today is laid out. Let's execute the plan. So, I will just go ahead and go for the drop pods, right? So if you take a quick glance, wow, my voice is fading a little bit. I'm sorry. It will get better. So, as I said, the drop pods, right? In the Dune Desert here, there is really 3 nearby, actually, that are quite easy for us to deal with, except one of them is a bit of a challenge, but we can see the first one over there, there's one over there, and at the north edge of the map is also one. Now, the one in the north is guarded by a alpha hawk, so that is quite dangerous, and I will just run in, grab myself the resources and the hard drive, and then just bolt out of there again. But as you saw there, our first blue slug has been acquired. And you can see the particles of the second one already in front of us, which is quite neat. We probably will grab more, because we will run up to more of them, so there's no point in not picking them up, in my opinion, right? They're always very useful. But 2 is what you need to actually unlock over and underclocking, so that's why I want to have at least 2. There we go, look, we have some rotors on this drop site, some modular frames, iron plates, concrete, not cement, it's concrete, and we need to pay 5 of the iron rods, but that is a very, very small price to pay, so let's pick up the crash debris. By that I mean just dismantle everything, right? That we can see. There we go. And look at the resources we are getting. That's more iron rods that we have paid, right? So definitely worth it. I think there's one more that I can't see right now. That's fine. Let's dismantle this. Yeah, see, look. Some reinforced iron plates right here. And if you're not sure if you have gotten everything, you can just enable photo mode, decouple your camera, and take a quick glance around the drop site. Ah yeah, there's something to dismantle right there, see? And then what else? Oh, there's some iron or steel pipes for us that we need to grab. Cool. There we go. We can start by placing down the 2 miners. Get ourselves a smelter in front of them with just a little bit of distance in between. That might be a little bit too much of distance, but that's fine. And then just a couple of constructors over here. And these are going to feed into some storage containers, like maybe a little bit further out, in case we want to put in some mergers at some point, right? Like so, just connect those up. And, ooh. We have a little bit of clipping here, but you know what? It's fine. For now, at least, right? Grab these 2 guys. Grab the smelters. And then the constructors. And hook them up to power. There we go. Now then, we need to make sure these are set to iron. There we go. And we are just going to set up the very basics. Iron plates and iron rods. And now we can just leave this running while we take care of some copper production and some limestone production, and also bringing the hub over to here. Alright, and with that, we have added in our copper, right? Just producing a little bit of wire, nothing too major, right? And now also concrete has been automated to start us up, right? Now, all of these productions are inefficient, I know that, but that's fine. But this is what I mean with established base, right? Have plates, rods, some wire, and also some concrete set up and automated, so this can all pile up in the background while we do other stuff, while we explore a little bit more, right? While we amass a little bit of biomass, and all of this will help us going forward. Alrighty guys, so we are at an important part. We can unlock field research now. Well, we could if I did bring enough wire. There we go, wire acquired. Let's unlock that. Awesome! Now we have the map as well. And yeah, you can see this is where the one of the drop pods was, just at the world border basically, right? So that's pretty cool. And yeah, things have changed a little bit, right? We have a second constructor bringing us in iron plates, very helpful. And over here I just split off the iron ingots into another rod constructor that feeds into a screw constructor, just to get us started, right? That's really, with the splitting, what we were able to do, which means for the concrete we just added in a second constructor as well, and for the copper production we split off the ingots, as you can see there, produce wire and then cable, right? These things are still, oh, that block is still here, there we go. These things are still inefficient though, so this is where the research is coming in to help us out. Now, yeah, that's what I figured. I need more wire than I desire. Here we go, wire acquired. Let's go. So, let's plop down our MAM and let's get a little bit of research done, right? So, we did find some hawks, so let's research those remains as well as the spitters, right? There we go. That will open up more research for us now, which is amazing. Also some inventory slots, which will be very useful, right? I think I have some of those on me, yep. So we can go for the nutrients tree and start that up. Just a little bit, right? Not too much. There we go. And then the power slugs, right? We need 1 to unlock power shards. And then we need to craft 1 power shard and more, yeah, a little bit more wire to actually get this whole thing going. Here we are. Let's unlock overclocking. Well, that also unlocks underclocking, which is very important to keep our factory's efficiency high, right? So I also managed to craft the remains into some protein, so let's unlock this. This will also allow us to craft biomass out of the remains if we so choose. However, the alien DNA capsules will be very useful for us. Now, I will wait on the rebar gun. As you can see, it needs 50 reinforced iron plates, and I'm just going to wait until I can produce those, right? So that's all for the research that I really wanted to get out of the way. For now, let's scan our first hard drive. That is going to be very impactful for us. Alright, while sliding down towards our hub, there we go. We should have enough screws now. Oh, almost. We're almost there. Good. We're going to get our chainsaw crafted up in just a quick second here. And also our hard drive has finished scanning. So, that is very exciting, guys. Alrighty, let's craft the chainsaw. And we are going to need a little bit of fuel for this, right? So, I did set aside a little bit of the... oh, whoops. of the biomass, right? And yeah, I mean, 48 will be enough, I think, to get us started quite easily. Alright, good stuff, good stuff. So, let's equip this beast. I like the animation when you first equip it, so nice, right? And there we go, we will make use of this in just a second. Now let's check our hard drive. And that is amazing. We have cast screws and 6 inventory slots. There's a third recipe that we can get, which is iron wire. For now, we are taking the inventory slots, and we are just going to scan our next hard drive. So, this has only 2 possible recipes, right? Cast screws and iron wire, of which cast screws I find very important for the beginning. It makes stuff so much more easy. Dismantle our hub and set this down up here. There we go, this is going to be the new spot. Let's lock it in place and let's find out where we want to place this. So I do want to have a little bit of space on each side, but I think this is, yeah, this is going to work for me perfectly fine. There we go. Amazing. And then up here I would also like to have the MAM, right? And maybe set that down just over here. And then I also do want to have an equipment workshop that I can access up here as well, like so. Yeah, everything fits. And we are just going to take the basic wall, the 1 meter one, and soup this around just to give it a little border and also to prevent me from just walking off and falling down, right? But yeah, that is definitely now base established in my eyes. As for where I want to stand, right? And now we are gonna go into the power production where we are going to put down all 9 of our biomass burners. Right, we can't use all of them right now, but that's fine. And if you take a look at our tier 2 milestones, part assembly is going to be the one that we are chasing, so we can activate that as well. Cool. So, as for the biomass burners, if we take a quick glance down here, yeah, I just want to have this below, I think, the whole base. And I would love to have the biomass produced maybe over here and then feed it. Oh god! Ow! Then have it feed over. This is fine because this will open up another research tree for us if we get these Mycelia things cut down as well. So actually I'll take the fall and make the best out of it, right? That's fine by me. And you can see how quickly we are able to gather up biomass now. That is so amazing, right? And then here, let's add in a ramp as well. I think I tore that down by accident, which is fine by me. And we are going to talk about the Mycelia research once our MAM is actually ready to process more, more stuff. The hard drive is just too important right now. So, we don't want to go it further out to the west here, so let's say want to have a little bit of space as well, so maybe right here is the place for the first 3 of these guys, and then we are going to put down a splitter in front of the middle one. You can go as close as this if you want to, or you can leave a little bit of space. It really depends on how you want to do this. I usually like to leave a little bit of space, which means, yeah, the whole build isn't going to be as clean and compact as it could be, but I am usually just fine with this, right? So now we need to make sure that this fits perfectly, like that. There we go. Same deal here, and yeah. Ooh, that was perfect. These belts do not actually clip into one another, so this spacing absolutely works out, which I do love. So we did do this, if I remember correctly. Yeah, just the white box, right, that is around these things, and you can line those up. You can bring them even closer in if you place your splitters differently, right? But for now, I think this is fine. It's really just so you can see very nicely or very well how I've set this up, right? So we also want a little bit of a buffer for our biofuel, right? And then we should have enough space here, perfect, to get that belt curved around. And this ramp is temporary. We have to think about this later on, which is fine. But yeah, I mean, this is now what we will be able to use. We are only going to be able to use 2 of these 3 legs, or wings, however you want to call them. But we should still hook all of them up with some power poles, right? Just so it is ready to go. What am I missing? Wire! Dang it! Luckily for me, wire is really easy to pick up. It's so close, right? So let's set these up, and I don't really have a decent way of putting down these power poles to make it look decent for now. Just doing what I can. I think I am happy with this. So this is now going to be our absolute center power outlet for our whole power grid, I guess. So that's cool. And yeah, I mean, we definitely have to figure out how we want to craft the biomass and stuff. For now, we can handcraft and just throw it into the container if we want to, right? So that's good, and this shall be closed off eventually here, right? Just to make it clear that this is actually done like that. And I think we can make sure that this belt is also in place, just so we know, right? And that means, yeah, I have to pull this out a little bit more, which will give me space for the crafting of these guys, and also maybe I've even placed the containers up on top, but that's fine. I love that. So for me, this is definitely base established, right? We have our hub, our MAM, our equipment workshop, all in close proximity, and then we have started our power production, which we can't use the full extent of it, but that's fine. So, love it. That counts as establishing base in my books. Very happy with that. So yeah, we are going to have the ability to unlock Mycelia research now, which is very cool indeed. And I think in keeping with what we have done above, let's add in these basic walls, just so we know where we can walk and where we just don't want to fall off, basically. So maybe like so. I think this is fine to just bring it across, right? And then we will, yeah, need to address the obvious flaws with these walkways. How are we looking? Well, roughly 100 biomass in each of those. So yeah, it's time for some handcrafting, and I will meet you with some Mycelia research. There we go. Harddrive scan has been done, and as you can see, cast screws, iron wire, I will take cast screws. As I said, it makes my whole plan come to success way more easy, right? And now we have the Mycelia tree, so let's start unlocking that. This will give us access to some very cool things like making biomass out of Mycelia, which a very good ratio, and also fabric. So fabric is important because that allows us to craft a parachute. So yeah, cool. We need 10. And to craft this, you need Mycelia and some biomass. And if I remember correctly, it is 20 to actually craft the parachute. So let's just craft 30. Do the research. And actually craft it. Perfect. There we go. This is going to make traversing a lot easier and also a lot more safe, because if we fall, we can't just glide down to safety, which is absolutely amazing. Now, as I said, like the Mycelia to biomass ratio is insane. You get 10 biomass out of one of those, and that's very, very good, right? This is going to be our solid biofuel. Now, you can see we would need 120 biomass per minute, which we can't do at the moment. So we can just set the clock speed to 50%, which means we can produce 30 solid biofuel. And if you take a look at the burn rate of solid biofuel, it's 4 per minute, right? So with 30 per minute, you could actually sustain 7.5 biomass burners, which we will just use 6, right? This is why we haven't connected the last leg or wing back here. So I am absolutely fine with that. Now, to get the biomass, we are going to need a couple more constructors. Oh, that's gonna bug me. That is very slightly offset. I don't want that. There we go. And then we are going to have one of the constructors set to leaves and 50%, because we can only provide 60 per minute, right? And this will give us 30 biomass per minute. All right. On the wood side, we are going to be capped at our output speed this time around. So we could also just set this to 30 per minute, right? However, if you only have wood, I want this to be able to put out 60 per minute, just so we are on the safe side. And for the Mycelia, we are also just going to set this to 60 per minute, like so. Alright, and then all we do basically is merge all of these 3 right in front of our solid biofuel constructor, right? And that is going to work splendidly for us. Alright, so then, I think we are going to do this. Something like this works out for the power connections, in my opinion. There we go. It's pretty much a closed system, right? All we need to do is set the inputs, and then we are good to go. So let's connect these up for now, right? And let's start feeding our production here. So, as stated, I probably will have to... I don't need to handcraft too much. We just throw the 45 into here, like so. And that starts distributing, as you can see here, right? Very nice. I love that system so much. And we should see these lights turning yellow very soon. Or green, depending on what's going on, right? And for now, to just kickstart this production, what you're going to do is just throw in the biomass into this constructor, let this go for a little bit while we are thinking about how we want to set up our inputs to this system. We could also just set them up over here, right? That is definitely also a possibility, and I think it's honestly not the worst one. So let's just have these right next to one another, right? Yeah, and then can build them around. That works. That works in my eyes. So let's start. This will be our oh, hang on. To bring this around a little bit more, like so. This is going to be our Mycelia, and then this can be a curved belt for wood. And this is going to be, yeah, our leaves. Perfect. Okay, so straight belt into this one. We can bring this over to here, and this one all the way over, like so. And then we can just connect those up. That works perfectly fine, right? Going to grab our wall to indicate that this is the end of the line here. Which it kind of is, right? Like so. But we can walk through here. We can still add in some foundations here, right? That doesn't deter us from doing this. It's just so we know, hey, okay, we shouldn't walk into these things because these are production lines that are set up, right? So yeah, we have to establish that at some point. But now we can come back, we can throw in our leaves, we can throw in our wood, and we can absolutely throw in our mycelia into here, right? And then this system takes care of distributing everything into their constructors where they need to be. And I think with that, we've made a big jump in convenience, actually. And yeah, awesome. Now, we can see 180 capacity. That's just because the other ones are running as well down below, right? So we need to make sure that we provide the power into our network. So we can do this, like so. And that means we can now glide down with our parachute and actually take away all of the old biomass burners, like so. And we are now set up perfectly fine to tackle probably the biggest thing for today, which is going to be the starter factory. And yeah, I will have to gather more resources. I will show you the plan once we start building. And yeah, looking forward to this. As you can see, I'm planning out a little storage area here. This is for the iron products, or most of them. Not all, I think. Let's double check. So we would have plates, rods, screws, rotors, reinforced iron plates. Oh no, I think we got everything. And then we have wire, cable, copper sheets, and concrete. And concrete is the big factor right now, because that's what's slowing me down. So let's start with that. So we are going to use 2 constructors at 100% clock speed, and as you can see, this will require 90 limestone. We have 60 over there, we do have 30 over there. That's an impure limestone node. As you can see, I've set the belts up to come up here. And I want to save reinforced iron plates. I want to use as little of them as possible, right? So I just don't have to handcraft them. So we will have a trick here, or a technique, I guess, for the concrete to save some reinforced iron plates, and we will come back to saving these reinforced iron plates when we go over the iron setup, which we will do last because it's the biggest one, right? So, to make this happen, we are just going to take 2 mergers out, right? And we will set them in front of our 2 constructors, like so. And behind those, we are going to add in some splitters. Although, we should actually give them a little bit of space. It's okay. Like so. So, we are going to split the 60 and the 30 line and merge each of those into one of the outputs, right? So, over here, just connect these 2 in, right? And this one can loop around like that. Then we can take some of the lifts, right? And I guess, yeah, we have to go to this side. Then we can connect these up, right? Like so. Perfect. and that way we will have 45 on each outputs of these mergers, right? Which is exactly what we want. So let's connect those in. Let's grab ourselves our belts here, and maybe this is gonna work. Yeah, that looks good to me, right? So might have to angle this a little bit more, actually. Just try to make this work. Yeah, that looks good to me. So, if you take a look here, we take the 60 on this line, move it over, 30 of which goes into this merger, 30 into that. We take the 30 line, send 15 to this merger, and 15 into this one right here. So 45 each. That is perfectly load balanced, right? And we will have two constructors set up, which we just merge, and this is the overflow splitter prepared. We will, once we unlock the smart splitters, we will just hold control over those, right? And click those in and set up our overflow protection. So let's get this connected and let it run for a little bit, and then we can talk about if it is actually as good as I want it to be. Alrighty, it looks like everything is working the way I have it intended to work, which is amazing. So as you can see, these two lines come in, gets split and merged the way we want it to, right? And it just is so simple, yet so effective, right? And we just saved so many reinforced iron plates with not merging these two lines up. Does this need a little bit more space? Yes. Is that important? No, not really. That's fine, right? And we should now move over to the copper side of things. And yeah, with having a better concrete production, right, this will be a little bit easier for us. Amazing, I love it. And as you can see, these are just working in the background, and that's just, it's so much fun. I also did add in a couple of foundations for the miner over there, and now we need to make sure we find a way to move up the copper in a way that makes a bit sense. And yeah, so I will go ahead and set this up. Well, we can set it up together, actually, it's not that big of a deal. However, if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. If it is something to do with load balancing or manifolds or stuff like that, we will come back and talk a little bit more about those. However, as I said, if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, just click the subscribe button, right? It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, it helps me out though. And yeah, I would greatly appreciate it. So with that shameless plug out of the way, let's set up some copper productions. By the way, I will not do this in every episode, right? It's not my style, it's not my thing to do. Doesn't this look way cleaner now? I love it. That is so amazing. And yeah, I definitely will have to dress this up at some point, right? I am aware of that. So, let's jump over here. We can see our copper is now getting sent up to here, smelted, right? And then distributed over here. There we go. Everything is getting ingots. That is amazing to see. And I really like this setup here. It's so clean, right? It works perfectly fine for 4 machines, but you can also scale this up, right, if you need to. So I really like it, as I said. And as you can see now, we get some cables, wire, and some copper sheets produced and sent over to storage. Amazing. Alright, so now we are going to have to tackle the behemoth that is iron. Alrighty, so I did grab all of my rotors that I found out of storage, because we are going to make use of them right now, which is amazing, right? Cool, so let's get started. Reinforced iron plates, and what we want to do is get out the assemblers. I have unlocked this milestone, right? So there we go. We have our assemblers, and we are going to need 2 of them. And I think I just want them to be arranged in this manner. There's no particular reason for that, other than I'm trying to be a little bit space efficient here, but still make it very clear what needs to be put where, right? And as you can see here, the regular recipe, we are going to need 120 screws and 60 iron plates, and that with cast screws perfectly is covered by one single pure iron node. So let's get started, shall we? Output is going to be very easy. We're just going to merge this up and send it in. As for the inputs, right, we are going to have one line with the screws and one line with the iron plates. Now, I want to reserve everything west of these things for the other production lines. So let's think about this. We are going to need the iron plates, right? So what we can do is honestly just place them here, right? And we are still going to be able to do all the merging and splitting in front here to not interfere with our other productions. And I think that's fine, right? So, we need 60, which means 3 of these guys, right? These combined into 60, so already 90 of the iron ingots are used just for this step, right? So, let's merge these up. So, we bring this over, combine those, and now, ooh, okay, that is a bit too close. Let's say we want to do all the splitting over there. Yeah, so our mergers should also be back here. Oh, did I? Wow. Did not mean to delete that one, but yeah, let's bring this over, combine all of these guys, and just split the inputs like so. And then we need the same for the screws, so actually you can't just do this, notch it up twice, and over, like so, and then one left over there, and this one like that. Make sure this is connected. There we go. And what we now need to do is take care of the screws, right? So I figured we can't just put down our screw production back here, or yeah, no, back here makes the most sense to me. So let's make a little bit more space here for us to build upon, right? And you're just going to do this right here. So we need the cast screws alternate recipe, and we need to change the clock speed to 40 per minute or 80% on all 3 of them. And you will see you will get 120 screws, and you will need 30 iron ingots. Perfect. And cast screws is just so amazing because you cut out the step of having to craft rods before you can craft screws, right? And that makes it really easy for you to deal with. And then all we need is basically a merger, right? Get those together. And then a Mark II belt that connects into our load balance setup on the top side, right? And that's the whole shebang, except we also need to, obviously, right? We need to smelt all our ingots. So we are going to need 4 smelters, right? And the easiest way to do this, I think, would be over here. So we would have to add in a little bit more space. And basically we'll waste a little bit of space here, but it's fine, right? So we're just going to grab the middle of the foundations here. Let's just set this to iron so we do not forget, right? And then we are going to do the same thing over here, like so. Now these 3 guys need to be set up with a simple splitter that goes all 3 ways. And we know we need exactly 30 of the iron ingots to make this happen, so There we go. And the other 3 setups we can just do like this. Actually, you know what? Let's do it right here. Like so, right? And then this one we want to connect into here. That's fine. Yeah, that works out. Like that. Alright, let me set up all the power connections and also, obviously, let's make sure that our 120 iron ore is gonna be load balanced. However, we are not using Mark II belts to bring resources in, right? So what we are going to do instead is just have a very simple setup with 2 splitters and then 2 input lines. Cool. And a small correction, because I did forget to set up the power line towards for our screw constructors here, the cast screws. And here they come, nice! A full 120, or a full Mark II belt of screws is now getting distributed into our 2 assemblers. And our very first reinforced iron plate has been produced. There's the second one. Amazing. And yeah, that is absolutely the part of enjoy for me, right? Seeing the productions up and running, seeing there is no mistake anymore, everything's has worked out, right? Love that. I just love it to see how these belts are moving and everything is getting produced. Amazing. So, our next step will be to get the rotors, a little bit of screws, some iron rods and some iron plates for storage set up. And I'm just going to prepare this and show you how I've done it. Alrighty, it's a beautiful new morning and look at this. Yeah. That is amazing to see, right? I'm definitely keeping up with the need for biomass at the moment, and yeah, having that buffer is just so cool, right? It's so reassuring. So yeah, everything has been placed, and we can go over it. Like, oh, there we go. There are our 2 miners, both normal nodes, right? So 60 iron ore each. I decided, hey, I will do the smelting over here. Now, one of these belts gets actually just converted into iron plates, right? So there we go, 2 smelters at 100%, right? So they will produce 30 ingots each, and then these guys will produce 20 iron plates each and get merged up, sent to storage, right? Our next smelter will be our production for rods. We are going to need 20 for the assembler for the rotors, and I want 10 for storage. So I decided to place 3 constructors. All of these 3 are set to produce 10 iron rods per minute, so we can just easily, right, merge up 2 of those for a line of 20 per minute that goes into the rotor assembly, and the line for 10 per minute, which will go into storage. So the last piece of the puzzle are the last 30 ingots that are coming in right now. I need to hook those up to power in a second. And we still produce 120 screws per minute over here. However, we only need 100 in our assembly. So we just split the 40 of those into 2 lines of 20. So we combine 40 and 40 and 20 for 100, and the 20 just move into storage for our personal needs. And then we have 4 rotors per minute, just a standard 100% regular recipe for the rotors. Alright, so we did spot a small little error, right, in all of this, which is over here. These guys do in fact need a connection to power. That doesn't look that good, but it's fine, we just want to get this started. I really do want to see some rotors coming in as well, right? But this is basically the starter factory, well, the immediate basics, right? I definitely would like to add in more things to this in the future, but for the point where we are now, this is, in my opinion, a completed starter factory. Just for, as I said, basically the basic needs. What a sentence! Yeah, the basic needs have been satisfied, right? We have automated biomass production, automated distribution into our biomass burners, right? We have our hub set up, we have our concrete production and our copper production set up. And now, finally, also the complete iron production like I wanted to, right? So we have our reinforced iron plates, and we now have our plates, rods, screws, and rotors for storage as well. Now here you can clearly see how this is working, right? There we go. Perfect, right? And you need to make sure, right, that this here is a Mark II belt for the 100 screws, or else you're gonna be screwed. There we go. But yeah, this is definitely now working. We can see the rods coming in, right? And we soon shall see our first rotors out of this assembler. There it is! Amazing! Absolutely love it. So yeah, absolutely perfect in my opinion. And you definitely don't need that much space, but I felt like I wanted to do this again, where if you take a look at it from above, it's really easy for you guys to see what I am doing, right? And this will stop very soon, right? But for the starter factory, I think having this much of an area and just having all the production lines kind of set up in a way where it's very easy to follow makes a lot of sense, especially if you never played this game. And yeah, once we have blueprints, that's basically the latest point where I will switch to more compact setups, right? Cool. Amazing. Yeah, it's basically the enjoy state at the moment, right? Where you can just take a look at everything we've done and just enjoy that it is working and that we are producing everything we need. So awesome. Cool. So yeah, between episodes, I probably will try to touch all of this up a little bit so it just looks a tad bit nicer. Also, ramps like these need to go, and I think one of the easiest ways for us to spruce things up, right, is going to be to set a goal already in the hub for next episode, which will allow us to do a lot of these things, right? And that, oh, whoops, that's a crafting bench. That is going to be the resource sink bonus program. There we go. It's just, I do have everything I need on me, so, except for wire. That's good. We will start next time with that, and also more production. Until then, that is all that I do have time for, though. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And as always, take care. Bye.